Okay, I've got all the things ready. Rubbing alcohol, cotton balls, tissues, plaster. How can I forget? Tea. It's that time of the season, where I will host a humble afternoon tea in my humble apartment. Yeah, an afternoon tea at 8 p.m. 8 bloody p.m. An afternoon tea. Where is he? He's late again. I wonder if he's okay. I don't know if it's intuition, or that we've done this so many times already that I just know, but... I walked to the front door, holding the handle for a few seconds, then opening it. There he is. I waited guess. It does not seem like we were coincidentally trying to open the door at the same time. Hello. How are you? I look at him, judgingly as I cross my arms. I'm fine. You're late. Don't answer. Yeah, I'll tell him I'm fine. Nice. Are you? I'm okay. Have you been standing in front of my door for 5 minutes? It was 10, actually. 11. So, why are you still standing there? Are you waiting for me to let you in? Yeah. I thought you say that you don't need to get the host permission to enter buildings. I don't. It's just common courtesy, you know? Even though normally you don't spend 12 minutes waiting for me to get you? He doesn't answer. Is it because we're doing that today? He continues to be silent. Pull him in, give permission, let him be. I'll give him permission. I think that's the nice thing to do. I let out a sigh. Please, come in. It's okay. Thank you. He walks past me as I reach my arm to close the door. I quickly follow until we arrive at the living room. As he enters the living room, he turns his gaze to the table between the two sofas that face each other, noticing the items I've put there earlier. Gosh, all these... I told you that you really don't have to prepare. I've brought all the necessary items myself. It's me who's asking the favor. It's all the treatment for myself. Well, yeah, but I'm the host. I invited you to have a drink. And hosts should serve their guest well. Would you look at that? There's also tea. Wow. Like it's any surprise to you that I've also prepared tea. That smell. So, pumpkin key, spicy. Did he just call it pumpkin key? Yeah, I don't know the proper vocab in English. It's pumpkin spice tea. Oh, very in season, I see. They said that it's good for your heart and blood circulation. Oh, I see you've also prepared some very cute candies. Are these for the trick-or-treating kids? Now I'm surprised if they'll even come to your door. Sugar for a quick energy replacement. Also, that one is dark chocolate, which has iron. Let's drink the tea before it gets cold, shall we? You hate cold tea, don't you? Yeah, I do hate cold tea. Well, the improved blood circulation. Let's get straight to the underdrink. Yeah. What if I press on about the improved blood circulation? I feel like that would be funny. Wait, can I save? No, I can't. Frick. Yeah, let's go straight to the blood circulation. Yeah. Well, sure. Yeah. I just want him to suck on me, please. Not like that. He's a vampire. Then get your hands out of the gutter. Jesus, what did you think I meant? He slowly takes his seat on the sofa in front of me. He observes the tea for a few seconds before taking it in a rather shivering manner and sipping it very lightly. I'm guessing that he's avoiding eye contact, but I'm also enjoying my tea. We both sit in silence. Why are you so nervous? Nervous? I'm not nervous. It's nothing, you know? Actually, it's the usual thing, you know? There's nothing to be nervous about. Stop overthinking it. Just drink more of the tea. I'm sure it'll make you more relaxed. It works for me. Yeah, you're right. Relaxed. Pumpkin spice tea, is it? I don't know. I didn't know you like pumpkins. I'm generally okay with it. My landlord held a pumpkin carving event for some children this morning, and they gave me the excess pumpkin bits in order to reduce food waste. Nice! Don't go wasting food on me. Did you cook something with it? Pumpkin stew. Ooh, it sounds tasty. Is that what you had for dinner? Does it have... Yes, I added beef to it. No worries, I know the drill. Did you also drink a lot of water? I did. And had enough sleep? I know the drill. I'm just... What if I'm just being snarky here? I know the drill. Oh, God. Wait. I don't want to be rude. Yeah. That's great. So are we practically starting now? I mean, since the conversation sort of led to it, I don't want to take any more of your time. So, are you ready? Are you? Ready when you are. Just get on with it. Are you? Well, why ask someone when you're not prepared yourself? I am ready. Good. So, first, the health check. He pulls out a notebook and a pen out of his pocket, then switches to one of the pages. Are we going to go through this every single time you want to suck on me? Beef for dinner. Check. How about your lunch? I had... not Caesar salad. Grilled salmon, Tuscan chicken. Chicken. I'm not sure if that's gonna be good for circulation. Would grilled salmon be better for circulation? I don't recall. Tuscan chicken. Tuscan... Is that a type of chicken? It's a type of chicken dish. Oh, chicken is good. It's cooked with cream, cheese. Also, I deliberately cut the amount of those and then the onions, tomatoes, and lots of spinach. Am I practically, like, teasing his fangs here? Like, considering I just keep bringing up the fact that there's, like, so much iron in, like, this dish. That's extremely good. It is. And the taste, too. I'll cook it for you next time. Really? Thanks. I'd love to try it. He scribbles something on his notebook. Now that I've asked you about food, the next one is about drinks. I know you barely touch any alcoholic beverages. Water. Have you been drinking lots of... He abruptly stops his sentence as he glances at me, pouring the second refill of my tea. Check. Next, sleep. How many hours did you sleep last night? Perhaps around... 7 hours? I think 7's like a good number, because 9 is too much, 5 is too little, 7's good. Nice! The ideal. I always try to have that much. I want to look more tired than I already am. Oh, has something been tiring you? You've been making it... You've been making it? A little less tiring. That answer sounds a bit unfair. Never let him know your next move. Is that a new meme catchphrase that I'm just too old to understand? Anyway, I'm glad it could help ease whatever things you're going through. Sleep, check. He looks through the pages of his notebook again. General health condition. I know you don't have any congenital disease or long-term severe sickness. I've checked your hospital sheet too. Oh, you're currently not suffering from some sort of mild illness, right? A cough, dry throat. I do have a light flu. Maybe nothing worth mentioning. Do I look like I do? Yeah. Do I look like I do? Well, you don't, I think. I still can't figure it out if there is anything, so... Yeah, okay. He checks on his notebook. Okay, and... That's it for the health screening. Next is... Is it time for the suck? He takes a deep breath and then exhales it. I could hear him mumbling to himself as if trying to convince himself of something. Okay, let's get to the next part. I know you already know this, but let me remind you again. Doing it directly is the most convenient, safest, quicker, and least painful way to do it. As much as I myself don't like it. I like it! Wait, I understand. I want to be feral! Oh, I understand! Thank you. Now if you have understood that, I have to warn you again that this will not be painless. Especially during the initial steps of what we're doing. The initial step on the thing we're doing. Yeah, exactly. I will try my best to make it the least painful. Although I was facilitated with these. He points to his upper teeth. Unfortunately, it does not come with any sort of numbing, anesthetic, or healing attributes. Even so, I've been learning healing spells, which means I can only apply a spell to help the newly inflicted scar heal, not to make the whole process painless. Therefore, I am very sorry that we have no choice but to use the good old retinol, alcohols, paracetamol. What's gonna help here? I don't know. What even is retinol? Apparently, it's a skincare product. I don't think I'm supposed to be using that on a wound. I mean, it does have anti-aging effects, but I don't think there's anything more anti-aging than being a vampire. So, alcohols. That's right. Just like how they do in your usual medical practice, right? I'll just apply alcohol to the area of the skin and to my, the thing I will use to inject. Which leads to... Are you going to suck on me yet or not? My last question before we actually do it. Now, as the one to ask you the big favor, I want to give you the liberty to pick. Where do you want me to take it from? The wrist, the neck? Take it from the neck. I mean, the wrist is like... But then again, probably the wrist has like less, there's probably less risk involved. Take it from the neck. The neck? That's a bit... Aren't your neck... Isn't your neck cold from temperature? You should keep it warm. I don't mind. Well, oh, I've never seen those clothes before. Is it new? I wouldn't want to ruin your new garment. I don't mind. I'm not feeling too confident today. That's a really sensitive area, and I really don't want to make mistakes. I'm already going to hurt you. That's a fact. So I'm definitely not taking the one where the risk of hurting you is more higher. Okay, that's a fair consideration. Risk it is then. Thank you for your understanding. I know you've heard this many times already, but let me tell you a few last things before we actually do it. I nod. He takes a deep breath, then glances to his notebook. Please understand that you are able to refrain from doing this at any moment. If you suddenly decide that you want to stop, I will stop immediately. Damn, this guy is really into consent, and I appreciate it. I have told you that during the process, it will not be painless, so if I hear even a little cry from you as a natural reaction from the pain, I have no choice but to ignore it. Is that okay? I nod. However, please let me know if it gets too painful for you. You can raise your voice and scream stop, hit my shoulder, stomp your feet to the floor, or do anything else to get me to notice you. And feel free to squeeze me as tightly as you want to help you bear the pain. I won't complain, so don't hold yourself back. Do you understand? I nod. Lastly, I know you already know the side effects of this, but let me explain again. Well, most clearly, anemia, a light one. If things go well, I will only take around a pint. You will naturally recover that volume within a few days. However, a complete recovery of the cells will take a few months. That is why we agreed to only do this once in every 3 to 4 months. You may also experience headaches, shortness of breath, tiredness, and some other mild symptoms, but I have prepared you some medicine to ensure you recover quickly. Of course, I will use my healing magic as well, but I'm not so confident at it. It will only work on the externals, the scar on your skin. With all these in mind, you still wish to proceed? I nod. It'll help me if you say it out loud. Yeah, sure, why not? Just go ahead. Just go ahead, take a bite and suck it real good. Thank you. Now, Finally. Please sign here. All of the contents are what I've said to you. You can reread it yourself if you want. He hands me his notebook and pen, pointing at a certain spot on the table chart. A chart that I made. I look at my previous signatures and the previous dates. The last time was in May. It's almost half a year ago. As I realize how painful it must have been for him to hold his thirst for that long, I quickly signed the notebook. Thank you. He puts the notebook and a pen back into his pocket. He takes a very deep breath again. And lets it out. Are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready as well? Yes. He stands up from his seat to move to the seat on my right. First, he takes a bunch of tissues and arranges it tidily to cover his own lap and the sofa we're sitting. Then he takes one cotton ball, wets it with alcohol, then applies it carefully to his teeth. After that, he washes both of his hands with a gel hand sanitizer. He then applies alcohol on another cotton ball and holds it in his right hand. Sorry, your hand please? I offer him my left hand. As he is taking it, my body automatically leans towards him. He looks at me for a second, as if he is saying thanks for my cooperation, or waiting for the reassurance that I am okay with all that he's doing to me. His gaze turns to my left arm that is now above his lap, using the cotton with the alcohol. He lightly taps and makes a circular motion on my wrist. He sighs. Well, all is done. Now's to actually do it. He stares at my wrist for almost a minute, until I broke the silence in impatience. You want to get this over with, don't you? I do. Same here. Just a few seconds later, he steadily lifts my left arm from his lap, then quickly pierces my wrist with his fangs. I let out an almost voiceless grunt that only I could possibly hear it. I wonder if he went overboard with the alcohol, or if it's the positioning, or if he managed to do certain technique that makes it not so painful. Maybe I'm just used to it. Used to seeing that red liquid running through my arm, coming from the 2 dots that he has freshly made for me. And used to being annoyed how that is such a waste, hoping that he can be a bit tidier about it. Well, at least those excess little drops fall to the tissues below, so it's not a mess. And the majority of the blood still falls to his throat anyway. Which, I could feel it being transferred to his body. Very slowly. He's really taking his time. That doesn't always mean that he's taking a lot. I trust him that he will only take a safe amount for me, but he's just doing it so slowly, little by little. It's not like I need to rush, but I don't know, it just feels weird, wanting to let him finish. We both just sit there in silence, obviously. He's unable to say anything. I don't want to do anything that might break his focus either. I have nothing else to do but to stare at him, then my arm, and then his eyes that are covered by his bangs, then the clock, then the blood, and then tea. The tea! I hesitate for a bit to break the moment, but my impatience wins. Hey, just want to remind you that you still have another drink you have to finish. After a few seconds, he slowly releases his mouth from my wrist, then quickly puts a tissue over it to stop the bleeding. He escapes my gaze as he wipes his mouth with a tissue, before he turns to me with a smile on his face. You're right, the tea. Before that, let me apply a healing spell on you for a little bit. He closes his eyes to help him focus, taking a deep breath, then releases it. With his palm on top of my wrist, he seems to be silently chanting a spell on his head. Not that I know how it works anyway. Before I knew it, I could feel that the bleeding has stopped, and the throbbing pain is gone. There. He hands me my hand. After he stands up, he returns to his original sitting position in front of me. Unfortunately, the scar will stay, and it might feel a bit itchy. It's best if you don't touch it with unsanitized hands. This is a special cream to help it disappear. Please apply it daily. And these are special iron pills that will help. Yeah, I understand. The tea is getting cold, you know. Yeah, you're right. Don't drink iron supplements with the tea, though. We spent the rest of the night finishing the tea I have made. We talked a lot, but It was mostly him info dumping me on the things I have to do after what we've just done, and asking me every 5 minutes whether I'm feeling okay. To summarize, he told me to rest well, drink lots of water, and eat iron-rich food. But somehow he managed to explain that as if he was reading a medical student's final thesis. At that point, I was literally too drained to be annoyed by his literal lecture, so I just drank my tea and chewed on some candy. Honestly, I wish he's comfortable with me enough that he will just skip all these technicalities. Yeah, I'm getting sleepy. Must be one of the side effects. Him calling my name takes me out of my world of inner monologue. Yeah? Do you understand all the things I've just said? Yeah, I've understood it all even before you said anything to me. Great! Well, if that's the case, I'll be going, okay? It's getting late. That's a peculiar thing for a being of your nature to say. I still need a good night's sleep, you know? Especially after all this. It's a very draining process, even though I was the one draining you. He's starting to make blonde jokes with that half-hearted laugh again. You better come again for drinks in 3 months, not later, and make sure to come on time. Ah, well. He stands up, walks to my front door after signaling me to stay on my seat. Regardless, it's not like I was about to send him off either. My energy is too depleted to stand and walk through the lengthy journey to my front door. I just look at him walking until he arrives there and opens the door. Lastly, I want to give you my biggest thanks. For the blood and tea. Normal end. Blood and tea. Is there... How do I get the other endings? Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how to get the true ending. Like, most of my answers were correct. I'm gonna show you the ones which I messed up at. Specifically here, during the part about the tea, I'm supposed to say, I do hate cold tea. I know you do. You got me. Let's do it your way. Then if you'll excuse me. He slowly takes a seat on the sofa in front of me. He observes the tea for a few seconds before taking it in a rather shivering manner and sipping it very lightly. I'm guessing that he's avoiding eye contact, as I'm also enjoying my tea. We both sit in silence. Huh. Well, I believe I'm supposed to ask, how is it? Huh? The tea. Yeah. It's nice. Really? Glad you like it. I brewed it myself, to fit your taste, you know. It's very nice, actually. Exquisite, marvelous, stupendous, extraordinary. Oh, where did all the vocabulary come from? Nah, really. Now I notice that the sweetness is just right to my personal liking. You always get the measures spot on. I can't say that I'm not at least a little bit flattered. I think I would prefer a latte, though. Well, over here I'm supposed to say, oh, I should have known. No worries. No, I knew you liked less sugar and milk. Milk! Well, if you're that eager to get it right, you can just make it next time. I will. Mark my words. Thanks. Then I'll be looking forward to it. We both take a sip of our tea at the same time. It relaxes you, doesn't it? It does, yeah. Huh. Pumpkin spice tea, is it? I didn't know you liked pumpkins. I'm generally okay with it. My landlord held a pumpkin carving event for some children this morning, and they gave me the excess pumpkin bits in order to reduce food waste. We're going to be skipping ahead. So over here, I kind of messed up by saying are you. I'm supposed to say ready when you are. Apparently, are you is a pretty rude answer. I did not realize that. So ready when you are. Okay. Take your time. No, you've been patient enough, so let's do it. Well, if you say so. He takes a deep breath and then exhales it. I'm ready. So, first, the health check. Yep, we already seen all this. We're skipping ahead. Okay, so oddly enough, over here, we're supposed to say that, honestly, I do have a very light flu. Oh, is it because of the season? Most likely. Well, hopefully the healthy preparations that you're doing for this will help you recover from the flu. I hope so too. He checks on his notebook. Okay, And that's it for the health screening. Next is, we're skipping ahead. And finally, we now have the option to ask him to suck from the neck. Yes? Are you not okay with it? Well, if I may ask, why did you choose that area? I guess because it's the most comfortable for me. It's relatively the riskier option compared to doing it on the wrist. Yeah, but I'm not sure actually. There, I just feel more warm, at ease, relaxed, and just generally better. Maybe due to the position, it releases those happy hormones, or whatever you call it. Who knows? I see. But I'm aware that the last time we did it there, it didn't seem to me that it was a very good experience for you. Let's not leave the decision up to me. Please consider yourself too. This is a two-people agreement. Are you comfortable taking it from there? It's not uncomfortable in the technical sense. It's just, okay, maybe it's sort of technical. Maybe, like, emotionally? Wait, it's emotional. I think, I also feel, I don't feel like I understand. I couldn't properly explain my reasons either, could I? If it makes you uncomfortable, then it makes you uncomfortable. You don't have to explain, and I have no right to force you to. Thank you. So, is doing on the wrist better for you? How about the arm? Nah. What? I've already given you my trust to decide. That's also a decision of mine, isn't it? And I trust your decision. I trust you. And I'm not taking back what I've given. Besides, you've been doing a really good job at making me comfortable up to this point, so... Are you sure? I am. Remember, I'm the one asking the huge favor that will require me to hurt you. I should be the one asking that. Actually, I'm the one asking the favor, remember? Because it hurts me to see you painfully pale, anemic, malnutritioned, dehydrated, and anxious every time we meet. Yet you always refuse to accept my help. Sorry, am I making you uncomfortable? No, I'm just amused how you're so aggressive, caring about me. I like that about you, though. My frowning eyes escapes his gaze as I blush a little. Well, let's do it. But you know, as always, I have to give you some final warnings. Go ahead. He glances at his notebook. Please understand that you are able to refrain... Why am I speaking in such a formal and stuffy manner to you again? Because you've been acting like a doctor of a small hospital that desperately need quick and free blood bags, so they target donors using nice words and gifts? Good metaphor, but... We're not a doctor-patient that helps each other because it benefits them individually. We're two people that help each other because we simply care about each other. A bit cheesy, but I'll take that. So, will you just let me sign that? Well... He quickly skims through his notes while muttering to himself. Painless, healing, anemia. Well, we've done this many times before. I'm sure by now you've already memorized all my explanations and questions, haven't you? Well, to be honest with you, I haven't been listening to every word you usually bombard me just before we do it, because I know that we'll agree to all of it. That's just like scrolling through terms and conditions and just checking the I have read all column. Gah, those websites. Even if I've read all of it, I still don't trust them. But I trust you. That's the biggest difference. Fair. If you were a little less accommodating tonight, I would have tortured you by reading all of the terms and conditions. And I will have you agree to it one by one. Ooh, so scary and evil. Better always to be nice to you then. Aw, I don't mind your aggressive niceness too. Then give me that! I snatch his notebook and pen from his grip. He easily releases it as if letting me take it. On a table chart, I write today's date and then my signature, below many others before it. Thanks for making that chart, by the way. It makes everything much more manageable. Told you so. I return the notebook and pen back to him. He puts it in his pockets. Thank you. Well then, let's start. He stands up from his seat to move to the seat on my right. First, he takes a bunch of tissues. and arranges it tidily on the sofa spot between us. He also puts some on both our laps. He takes one cotton ball, wets it with alcohol, and applies it carefully to his teeth. After that, he washes both of his hands with gel hand sanitizer. He then applies alcohol on another cotton ball and holds it in his right hand. He gives his looks to me, signaling me to do the next step. I lean my head closer to him. After feeling his hands, brushing a bit of my hair to the side, the right side of my neck feels the cold of the alcohol on the cotton, in which he lightly taps and makes a circular motion on. He puts the cotton away and uses both of his hands to hold my shoulders and bring me to a position where we're facing each other. Well, this is it. Are you ready? Wait. Yes. Yes! What's the matter? It's quite unusual for you to ask me to wait. The color of my clothes is not unbuttoned enough. The bigger the area that is not covered with clothes, the less risk of it getting stained. Oh, of course. The most important thing. How can I forget about your dislike for stains on your clothes? Even though you are conveniently wearing a black colored one, specifically for today to avoid such things from happening. I decide to ignore that remark and continue adjusting my collar. There. That should be fine. You may continue now. Thanks. He takes a deep inhale, then exhales. His right hand reaches to the lower right side of my cheek, and I instinctively lean my head towards it in order to give space to the other side of my neck. He leans a lot closer. I could feel his breath on my skin. He gives me that one last look, as if asking for one final reassurance of my consent. I answer that look with a little nod and a slow blink. He smiles. Ah! He quickly, yet gently, pierces his fangs against the veins on my neck. As a natural reaction, my body twitches a little bit. A small hissing sound came out of my clenching teeth as my right hand instinctively squeezed his left arm to help endure the pain. But that's as far as the pain goes. The initial sting lasted no more than a few seconds. What comes after are only feelings of relaxation and content. Instead of feeling my very life force being forcefully taken away from me, it feels like an act of giving something I have in abundance to someone else who needs it more. It is him that is actually still so tense. Despite feeling my own blood flowing so smoothly from a calm heartbeat, I could faintly feel his raging heartbeat just by touching his shoulder. So my right hand moves to embrace his back, giving some gentle strokes to help him relax. It's okay. I'm unsure if that works, but based on the sound of his breath that I could hear from behind my ear, I think it does. I close my eyes as I sigh in relief. He releases himself from me a few minutes later. He was facing downwards in silence for a few seconds before finally lifting his head to look at my eyes. Thank you. He stands up, walking towards his previous sitting position in front of me. Are you feeling alright? I'm completely fine. Really? Not even a bit of dizziness? Lightheadedness? Huh. Well, I'm unsure if I'm feeling a bit tired or just a bit relaxed. I guess either way, you still need to rest and recover. Now that I've replenished, I have enough magic power to give you a healing spell. Wait. Yeah? Another wait. What's wrong? Doing magic depletes your magic power, doesn't it? Yeah? And you get your magic powers from taking blood, yeah? Yeah? Then tell me, why are you using it if it's going to drain you again anyway? It's just a quick healing spell on a small area. It'll only take a little bit of my magic power. Still, not using it at all will give you longer before you have to replenish again, correct? Yeah, but it's not worth it since healing you is top priority. No, I wanted to heal naturally. Besides, I don't like those magic stuff being forced into me. Yet you just willingly let a pseudo-magical being force his fangs into you. Willingly and force don't go together. The donation was consensual. It's a donation. And in blood donations, the doctors don't give you instant magic spells, right? I thought you're the one who likes it to be as humanly as possible. That's a good point, actually. Alright, I won't heal you then. With magic. Use this cream though. If the scar has formed and the bleeding completely stops, daily. Got that. For now, I'll just apply you a medical plaster on it. He leans towards me. Once again, he sanitizes his hands with gel hand sanitizer. He then takes some tissues, then puts a gentle pressure on my neck to stop the bleeding. Let me hold that myself. Thank you. His hands switched to tidying and preparing the medical supplies on the table. So, how was it? Well, what was it? My blood. You're asking just like how you did with your tea. Well, both our drinks are brewed and served specifically for you today. That's one way to put it. Well, you know how blood tastes. Irony and all. I meant iron-y. Iron A. Tastes like iron, not like irony. Maybe a bit like irony. I see. It's not, say, perhaps sweet or tasty for you? Unfortunately for me, it doesn't taste or smell sweet, tasty, gut luxurious, mouth-watering, or whatever delicious vocabularies. I actually have tried consuming more sugar. Just maybe if it can make the taste more bearable for you. Aw, you don't have to do that for me. We make it bearable enough. Actually, please don't try to do that at all. Sweet blood can only happen if you actually have diabetes, which is not good. Well, eating anything else, that's nice work. I'm not sure, but the moment it does, that means you're consuming it too much, and too much is never good for anything. I see. Yeah, I'm so glad that the sort of supernatural being that I let consume my blood is also an expert in human medical science. Won't let my medical degree go to waste even after all these years. You're kidding. You still remember what you learned in college? Even after... I think it was the early 1900s, so that means around a century ago. Yeah. I mean, the things I've learned fortunately ended up being very useful to my unfortunately lengthy life. And my brain barely ages too, so I can still remember well. Did you deliberately go to medical school because of your condition? Or because you genuinely have interest in these things? I did apply for it quite immediately after I was challenged. I wanted to know if there is any way to help my new condition at that time. So maybe, because I genuinely have interest in helping my condition, who knew that the knowledge would continue to help me for years to come, and would have led me to this special, literal, healthy relationship with you. Isn't it only recently, relatively recently, that you started taking it from humans? Surely you need to relearn some things again. Human? You only. You know I can't take from other humans, or other creatures as a matter of fact. My bad. And to answer your question of how I still remember it, I don't. I looked up the internet for today's procedures. I knew the gist of it, of course, but I still need to refresh on some details. Just search what to do before blood donation, after blood donation, iron-rich foods, etc., etc. Practical. Besides, I own a blood research company that does blood donations. Shouldn't it be a bit more worrying if I don't at least know the basics? Fair. I was about to ask about your tips on not forgetting things, but never mind that. Because you see, earlier today I prepared all the things needed for the donation, yet somehow forgot to prepare the most important thing. Bloody tea! Bloody... as in freaking, not actual... Yeah. Well, maybe that means you care about me more than your precious tea? No, pretty sure I'm just starting to get forgetful, like I said. True. Forgetfulness. Aging is so cool. Gosh, I got so caught up in a conversation that I didn't realize we were talking about. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring this up. I thought you don't like to talk about your, inhumanity, past, age, aging, or lack thereof? Yeah, it feels odd that now you're actually saying that so casually. It's fine. What's a tea time without talking about your backstories, midlife crisis, and fears of the future? But you seemed extremely nervous when you got here earlier. Yeah, about that. I'm sorry. I knew I don't have to be nervous around you. It's just, in addition to my usual hesitancy and denial of becoming whatever I've become and the things I don't want but have to do, before coming here, I saw some children trick-or-treating, and one of them wore a Dracula costume, and what? And they said, "Blah! I'm an evil vampire, and I will eat your blood!" And first of all, the stereotypical Romanian accent can be insulting to actual Romanians. Second, you don't eat blood, you drink it. Even though it brings energy when consumed, blood is not soup. Classic vocabulary mistake. And third, vampires are not like that. I sip my tea in a desperate effort to hold in my laughter. Excuse me. It's just a silly little child. I thought you liked children. I do, but not when they spread misinformation like that. I really need to speak to their parents. I'm glad that his own ranting makes him not realize the amusement on my face. Whoops. I ended up complaining to you. Anyway, well, seeing that made me remember of the things I said earlier that I usually don't like to talk about. And it made me insecure, nervous, scared. But now I'm not anymore. You managed to make me comfortable enough to casually talk about it. It's all thanks to you. I'm not even going to explain my reaction to that. Anyway, I think the bleeding has stopped. Great. Now let me clean the wound with antiseptic for a bit. Sorry, but this might sting a little. Done. Now to let it dry a while I prepare the medical plaster. And I can feel him sticking something to the right side of my neck. We're done. Well, the next thing you need to do for your recovery is to drink lots of water, then get enough sleep. Tomorrow and a few days after, don't forget to eat iron-rich foods and drink the iron supplements I gave you if necessary. Don't do anything too tiring and stay hydrated throughout the day. I'll message you to remind you of these things. Okay. Well, now that's out of the way, and because you must be tired right now, I'll take my leave so that you can rest. His body leans forward, preparing to get up. Wait. He stops. Huh? Your third wait of the day! What is it? There's still one thing you forgot for my recovery. Huh? Really? I'm sure I told you and given you all the important things. Oh god, have I finally started losing my memory? Oh my god, am I aging? I hate to break it to you, but it's not that. It's tea. What? Tea. Huh. Well, you shouldn't drink tea with iron supplements because it will reduce the absorption in the gut, but I guess if it makes you happy and relaxed, with you. Huh? A tea with you. That's why I need most to recover. And like what they say, a healthy mind is a healthy body. My physique is not the only thing I need to recover. Are you just going to strip a sick patient of their needs, or do you want to be of service? You haven't heard my backstory, midlife crisis or fears of the future. I'll be of your bloody tea service then. I let out a little chuckle. I reach for the teapot, then refill the tea to his cup. He watches and listens as he readjusts his position on the sofa. And yet here you are, serving me instead. This is to make sure you can't run away from your responsibility. Actually, do you know that in some traditional households in Kyoto, a host serving its guests a certain tea dish implies an indirect social cue that it's time for the guests to leave? Interesting information, but no, I want you to stay. Gosh, you're the complete opposite of indirect implications. He escapes my gaze and scratches his head. Well then, if that's the case. He takes his cup of tea and leans it towards me. Cheers for the tea. I chuckle, following the same gesture. And blood. True end. Bloody tea. Anyway, that was Blood and Tea. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys do want to play this for yourselves, link to the game will be in the description below. I quite enjoyed it. It was a fairly cozy game, and like, considering it was a make your guest comfy simulator, I guess it kind of fit the vibes. I really wish they actually added more CGs to the game, considering all we really saw was just him sitting on the sofa or like him at the front door. I can't remember if he was even at the front door. But I did like the concept. I did like just how charming the writing is, but otherwise, thank you all so much for coming. I hope you all have a lovely rest of the day, and as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.